Okay, so the next CB job, and it's one of those wonderful Binatone 5 stars. You know, there was a time before I started doing this channel, before 2014, that you could buy one of these for a tenner, whereas at the same time a Rotel 240 would cost you about 37 to 40 pounds. So these are a better set. So why was that? Oh well, Binatone's not a good mate. Oh right, well, isn't it? Multi-sourced purchasing. Oh, we're going to. This is had an illegal 80 channel modification which needs reversing. I'll tell you what. Shall we try it first and hope it hasn't killed the phase lock loop like often happens? Unbelievable that somebody turns a really good radio into a plaything. And I bet it's atrocious performance. Right, plugged in. Oh, great. So, how do we get our crocodile clips into there? Okay, having sorted the power lead problem out of ours, we've got a set that's lit up. Right, are we ready? Channel 20. Let's put picture in picture on. It's doing 3.8 watts. And the frequency is 20. I'll put that on the screen so you can see I'm not making it up. Is 27,79069. So that's far enough to be noticeably off. Alright, it's channel 1 power. Is 3.6 watts. Interesting, you'd expect it to be the other way around. And channel 40 is 3.5 watts. Low power, so going back to channel 20, we'll find low power. Is 110 milliwatts. I need to go back to main meter, don't I? So we'll take deviation with a pinch of salt on this test set, in case it's not playing ball. Let's have a look what it says. Wallow. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Wallow. 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 It says 2.5, which would be right. I'll just put that in there because it may be lying. And the current consumption 1.111. I put that in the wrong box, didn't I? Okay. I'll put the squelch down, but I can't hear anything. RF going to full, mic gain. Yeah, external speaker has to be switched in on these. So let's see what the receive's doing. It's got a crystal filter there, which it shouldn't have, but I won't reverse it if that's working. Let's go over to the Cybernet meter. It's very good, 0.35. For 10 dB, 0.32. And for 20 dB, actually does it 0.6. Squelch. Never opens on full. That's really clever, isn't it? And threshold. Is 1 microvolt. So S9, that's what the meter says. It's very generous. It is 26 microvolts instead of 100. And the transmit meter bangs across. So we put FSD for full scale deflection. So POE8, public address. Let's check that. Test 1, 2. That's fine. And the mic gain should work on that. Test 1, 2. Test it. Yes, it does. So what control have they ruined to do this illegal modification? Could be. Delta tune looks like it's been messed with. Let's go back to CB. What about channel 9? It's 2778. That's channel 19, isn't it? So channel 9's become channel 19. It's 78125. It should be 68125 for channel 9. So got to get rid of that. And I suspect they've used the delta tune to do their naughtiness. So I'll put it in minus. Let's see what happens. So we're still on channel 20. Go over to the frequency counter. $27,204.54. So that's CPT, which of course you can't do on these. At 3.1 watts. So what happens when you put it into positive? It doesn't work at all. I don't think there's anything connected to that. This is the fun, trying to get the wiring back right, because circuit diagrams don't show this easily, so there we are. Okay, so on the face of it, it kind of works. I will just do one thing. We've never done this before. I'm just going to put it back into the CPT set of channels, and let's just see how the sensitivity is on 27205. It's very rare I come across one of these illegal modifications that does actually work, but it's well off frequency. So there we are. So let's just go to the cyanide meter. I don't know why the camera's moved. Let's see what the sensitivity is like. Well, not as crummy as I'd expect. It's 0.34. It's pretty similar to what we have there. Right. So we've not got this LC7137 because it's been mounted there. So okay, so you've got this ribbon cable. Now the best thing to do here is to actually cut the ribbon cable so that when they go through my dustbin, it won't find its way back into a nice radio to turn it into a not nice radio. Oh, I pulled it out of the RDC. These are the ones that go to the Delta Tune control to activate it. And we've got no crystal, so that's frustrating, isn't it? Oh yeah. So we've got to provide a crystal. Oh no, hang on a minute. Maybe I have to use that. But it might be too high. It's 10.24, but it's a bit. Then it goes on for more decimal places. 10.24046. Right. Let's cut that out. So I need to recover the LC7137. I love that. Warranty void if label or cover removed. Imagine going to trading standards. I had this illegal modification done to my radio. Oh yeah. Copyright 1987. I'll just chuck that on the floor. I can get hoovered up later. And then you've got to hope there's no cut tracks underneath. Right, well I'll get this chip soldered back in and we'll take it from there. Remove the remains of this IDC socket. The big snag now is to do the delta tune switch. So if we look at my Rotel 240, I haven't got a Binatone 5-star handy. We've got grey, black and brown. We can see that they have soldered together grey and brown, so they would be no doubt the 0. So is there still a black wire lurking? Where does the black wire go on ours? Take the other lid off. It's actually a resistor. Grey, one leg of the resistor. Where does the other leg go? Looks to be 1K. It seems to be totally snipped out and missing. What a shame. Okay. Anyway, I'll go and look at a circuit diagram and then get a resistor out. Right folks, that should have restored it. Bit of a faff putting that missing resistor on. Looking at the circuit diagram, the 1K resistor, I'm absolutely sure is needed for 0 delta tune. So if you just have those two wires to link together, you've not got, I think you've got minus delta tune. So I think that was a flawed way of doing it. Anyway, power it up. I've also done channel 9. Which hopefully is now channel 9. Just check on the test set. Piece of plastic there. So we should have 2768125 when it's on. So that's channel 1. Notice the frequency's changed to something more like. There's channel 9. And it's correct. Well done, Mr. Tango, that's one thing you've got right. So we'll put it on frequency. Excellent. We'll do the VCO. See if we can find a pen. Where's it gone? We had a box of freebies from a viewer today, so thank you to that viewer. It incorporates some microphones and bits and bobs, and a Nikkei LCD little portable TV stroke monitor. I'm sure we'll have a play with that in due course, so thank you for that. So I can't find any crocodile clip leads either. So resistor 4, we want channel 40 on the radio. That's the right one. Should be 4 volts. And non-transmit should be 4 volts. It's not far out at all. Do the transmit one. Go back to receive, 4 volts. So very close. Mine's 10. Right. Go through the transmitter. So main meter on the test set. I want channel 20, we're on 40. That would really help, not. So a peak of the... That's there. And then we want to temporarily turn the transmitter up, hopefully to 4.4 watts, so that we can balance the PA. So we'll do this quickly so as not to destroy the transmitter. Not designed to run this power. I've probably said before, we used to do Pi Olympic radios when I was at Nottingham Radio, business radios on VHF high band, and they were, I think they were 10 watt rated. They got like a 45 watt PA, so that they were a bit bomb proof. And you'd have to turn this thing up to maximum, and you actually had to tune for maximum smoke. But you had to be quick. 20 seconds and it would be destroyed. Right, so we've got just over 5 watts, so we now go clockwise with the left hand one to 4.4, and then we go anti-clockwise. They say for 3.8 watts, because we're legally allowed 4 watts. We don't have to get this set through customs, and we want the customer to have everything they're entitled to. So that's 4 watts. And channel 1, I want it to be within 0.1 on channel 1 and 40. We've got like 3.99 on channel 1. We've got 4.0 something on channel 40. So back to channel 20. Current consumption is now 1.21. And low power, if I can know where the switch is, where's my front panel? So low power is supposed to be 400 milliwatts, it's now 50 milliwatts. I think we've got a knackered one there. empty service cell here. Oh, we'll come back to that. How annoying. I think we're going to end up changing the preset though, to be honest. Oh, I don't know, I'm in the wrong mode on the test set. We'll come back to that anyway. So put those tools away. And let's look at the meter. It was banging across even when it was doing 3.5 watts, so low power, it's that one, isn't it? Bang! So that's the meter preset. That wants to read 4. It's about there. Deviation needs to be done on the other test set. I've not switched the other test set on. So I'll now turn the other test set off. We'll come back to deviation. Let's look at receive. It was already working nicely, but I'm sure we can do better because some of these can virtually go off the clock. Get rid of the meter. It's taken about 45 minutes to do this demodification. I was able to recover the crystal trimmer, the LC7137 off that board, and we've just had to add a 100K, a 1K resistor to the Delta tune. Which hopefully is right. So 2779125 on the signal generator. And let's see if we can tune that in. Don't think we've got the wiring right on this. Working better in negative. Right, so with the Delta tune in negative, here we go. Turn that down a bit. About 4 dB. Some improvement there. Turn the attenuator down. That's spot on. Tiny little bit there. Let's change tools. That was spot on. You know what, I never did the detector, did I? 100 microvolts, oscilloscope on. Detector. Quite a way out. Start again. Shouldn't have affected it, but we've got to be absolutely sure. Finally, the hidden one down there. Fine. Alright, let's get a new reading. Oh, I've not been showing you the right thing, have I? Right, let's see where we are. So for 12 dB, we've got 0.25. So where a lot of these seem to end up being. 10 dB, 0.21. And for 20, 0.5. I don't think you'll get that on a new set. Squelch. No, I'll tell you what, we'll do the S meter next. That's the S meter adjustment. There's RS9. And then we'll do the squelch. So full squelch, I'll put 100 microvolts on the test set. We need to adjust the squelch till it opens, the squelch preset, which is there. That's now set right at 100 microvolts. And now we'll set it for threshold. Signal generator off. Signal generator back on. Just give that another go, I didn't set that well enough. Signal generator back on. It's at 0.55. Right. I'm going to take a break, let my voice recover. Right, we're hooked up to the test set. Let's see how we are. Whoa, 3.5, that needs to come down. There we go. The peak there, 2.5. So plug back into the Marconi test set. See what it says. Wow, it says it's low, doesn't it? Which is wrong. Okay, so we've done that. It's 3.5, 2.2 to 2.5. So I'm going to leave it at that point for today. I'll come back onto it tomorrow. I'll look into that delta tune. So the next day I've spent another 45 minutes or so. What I've done is to take the front off our Rotel RVC 240 and pulled the switch out there. You'll see we've got at the bottom we've got the grey wire, the black sleeving of the 1K resistor, and then the brown wire. And what I've assumed wrongly is that the sleeving 1K resistor black bit there is the centre of a changeover switch, and I've assumed it changes over to brown in the up position and grey in the down position. I was wrong, because the switch in this radio, which I've now put away, is a totally different design. Why is that? But what I've noted is this: the delta tune in the 0 position, grey and the 1K resistor are made happen. In the minus position, it's grey and brown. In the positive position, nothing's connected. So the way they had it was grey and brown connected when they'd re-utilised the switch for their illegal 80 channel mod. So it was always in the delta tune minus position. So there you go. And when we look at the circuit, which I just don't happen to have brought, but you'll see that's how it's done. But it was the wiring of that switch which was so different on my Rotel 240 here. It's a lot of trouble for something that's been purposefully ruined. So we'll have to put mine back together. One day we'll do this set, but I need another front. Get those two screws in. So the customer set is now done. So it's just a matter of putting it together. There we go, and we've got these fibre little cloaks. There's my dodgy front. It's not unusable, is it? But it is all cracked. I mean, it could be glued, but if anybody wanted to buy it, they wouldn't want to buy it, would they? They'd think it's only worth 10% of a fully perfect front. I suppose it broke when somebody threw it in a skip. Noticed all the tabs are broken because they don't care an iota for what was a £90 set. Alright, we'll just pop these knobs back on. Don't think that's original. We'll just pop them on anywhere. I do have a Binatone 5-star in storage, but to get it out of storage is time consuming. So we've gone down this avenue and still come with a correct answer. So there you go. 0 position, it's grey and the 1k resistor. Minus position, it's grey and brown wires together. And then to positive position, and the whole thing's open circuit. No cloaks. Perhaps they don't need them on these sets. Notice there's only one tab still okay as well on this. Put that back on without snapping the one and only tab off. They did the channel 9 thing. Back to 9, which was, if you remember, had been turned into a channel 19 switch. They hadn't messed with the display, that still said 9, so that was just the one wire had to be put back. But this radio works very well. And it's a shame it's been messed with like this. I probably said before that I have a Rotel 240 and the receive on it is just under 1 microvolt, which is about where the manufacturer says it's likely to be. But then when you see other sets like this, which are doing 0.25 of a microvolt, you know, they're not. You can't always guarantee when you buy a particular set that it's going to perform as well as the last one you have. This one is one of those exceptional ones. I'm putting these screws in because obviously they belong to the customer. I've seen people epoxy tabs onto these. There we go. Knobs. Just put all those to minimum. And hopefully we'll get the dots in the right place. Can't actually see it. Playing for a wedding at a church I've never been to before. It's incredible, isn't it, that I can actually live 7 miles from a church I've never been to. And I've worked as a church organist since 1978. So I've said, can I pop over for 15 minutes and practice? There's no two organs alike. I don't want any surprises. Right, there we go. So there's nothing dodgy. Everything's restored. These don't normally suffer from dodgy capacitors. And I'll show you the delta tune. It's weird. I thought the tabs are normally the other way on. Anyway, they're not. We'll try and get these twisted. It's another of these hum things. Well, I'll put a couple of screws in for now. And then it with Mr. Chippy and on the air test. Customer was a bit concerned this set may not be recoverable, and you'll be very pleased to know what an excellent radio this is. So they used to do these stupid modifications and then live with a compromise of performance, when at the time surely it would have been cheaper just to buy a second radio, which is what you were supposed to do. You couldn't combine with the European specification being a higher spec than the UK specification. That's what it's all about. So until PR2794 came out, which was a higher spec UK only what's the word? Type approval. So until that came out, we couldn't pave the way to have combined radios. Once that was out, PR2797 was there, you know, a couple of years later, and then we could have 80 channel radios. I was on these committees back in the 80s and 90s. I only stopped being on these kind of committees deciding all this kind of stuff when my late mother became terminally ill with motor neuron disease. You just can't be swanning around, especially some of these meetings were in London. It's the last place I want to go. Right, well, moment of truth. So, 2779125 on the signal generator. There we go. RF gain up. Better put a mic in. We've got a mic in. So if we flick delta tune, I just want to show something on the meter. If we flick delta tune, it will change. It's actually got better. How does that work out? And when we go the other way, you can't demonstrate anything in this world, can you? Let's put the radio, we're going to put the signal generator slightly off frequency in the positive direction. And it does slightly move better. Go back to our null position. We'll go to minus, there's 0, back to minus. And that's the extent of our signal generator. Well, actually, it's quite possible the crystal filter in this radio, which is being fitted, is lopsided, because they'll put a 10.71 in instead of a 10.695, because that's what they do. In reality, you all know it's a load of, don't you? Anyway, it's back right. And I've got a piece of metal in my microphone forever, and I'm not bothering to take it apart. Right, let's plug in, go to its own speaker, and switch internal, own speaker working, plug in the roof aerial, 19 Roger. It's, what, 3:30 in the afternoon? Roger. I know this is transmitting for 35 miles in one direction. You know, we know that from our tests. So it just goes to show. So there we have it. Binatone 5-star, now restored to factory standard and retuned meticulously. Thanks for watching.